all of the rails that run from Belarus into Ukraine appear to have they've been falling apart, and maintenance is just, they're trying to pick up, but the tracks are just so poor, no trains will run on them.
Let's get down and dirty and crush some skulls.
Well, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Hokey smokes. Not a whole lot has happened in life. I mean, it's still raining. Lots of rain outside. It's gray and it's kind of chill. The kind of weather that I may not like. I like being warm, but I do not function well in warmth. So it being still kind of chill is nice. It's almost, I could feel in my calves last night and this morning my legs sort of acting up with, hey, we're gonna cramp up if you aren't careful sort of feelings. When it gets warm, that all starts up again, so yay. It's joyous, but past that, life is life. There's plenty to talk about, of course, but first, well, hey, front loading of YouTube algorithms, videos. Thank you to the YouTube algorithms. If you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, I love comments. I read every single one of them. I thumbs up each one I do, which again is all of them. And I answer as many as my executive dysfunction will allow. So thumbs up. And of course, I do want to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These literally beautiful and literally awesome people are literally beautiful and literally awesome. If you too would like to be literally beautiful and literally awesome, it would be literally beautiful and literally awesome if you could become a patron, and that would be cool. There are links in the show more. Thumbs up for that. Yay, front loading of videos over. And because it is raining, there are lots of spores and such in the air, because mold and fungus and just pollen from trees, new life, and yay. I haven't started hacking and wheezing horribly when I get up anymore, but it's on the way, because I was wheezing all morning. Yay. And I can feel my sinuses, and my voice feels more rumbly on the inside. I don't know if it shows in the way my vocal cords are working, aside from my vocal cords getting clogged up all the time. But I can feel it with a deeper rumble, like hopefully I'm not going to actually get a cold out of this because of sinus drainage. I have had chronic sinus issues my entire life, had almost gotten walking pneumonia at periods because I've drained so much out of my sinuses and into my lungs. Gotta love that. Still though, life is life. And yesterday, life was indeed life. I had a long period that I could not stay awake. It was like 2 hours. And it wasn't even gluten induced. I don't sleep well, no matter what. And I get maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. And some days that just, boom, hits me like a freight train. I can't get up and move anywhere, because by the time it's hit me, I can't think anymore. And so I just nod back a bit here while listening to videos, wake up long enough to go, I didn't hear any of that, start over again, and then I'm off. And then that was going on for like 2 hours. First half of my days unmedicated, don't zoom by too quickly. An 8 hours from 6 o'clock in the morning until 2 o'clock in the afternoon doesn't take 8 hours. Oh, it zooms by faster than that. But it doesn't take any shorter a period of time than like 5 hours. So it runs by faster, just not too fast. From about 2 o'clock until 6 o'clock, that takes about 2 hours. And then from 6 o'clock until midnight, it feels like an hour and a half. I mean, I can literally sit down here at 5 o'clock to start putting on my support stockings and my shoes that I wear when I go out walkies outside. And by the time I'm done, it's almost 7 o'clock. It doesn't take me 2 hours to put on socks. And yet. So the time is zooming by, stuff is happening, I get distracted, and then I forget how the time is passing. That's how that happens. I may never be able to properly take any form of ADHD med again if there's nothing that doesn't raise my blood pressure. And that is for me just a horrible shame, but it's better than having a stroke. I mean, my housemates, now that I've talked to them about it, keep fixating on, oh, you'll have a heart attack. No, that's fine. High blood pressure isn't going to give you a heart attack. But you could blow out your blood vessels, like in your brain, or other important parts of your body. That's where it's bad. And oh boy. And my poor wife, just to talk about this one, before her death, I mean, she had brain issues before, where she had a minor stroke, and then like a year before she passed on, she had a major bleed in her brain. It just, the left half of her skull was filled with blood. She had seizures and she spent like a week in the ICU. Ugh. So yeah, I don't want that to happen. I mean, eventually something's going to take us all out, and hopefully it'll be like later rather than sooner for me. So, yeah, and for everybody. I mean, who knows what's going to happen. As a recent event sort of situation, I watched a video where the advance into Ukraine has been slowed because the Belarusian engineers that work on the railroads, for some weird reason, all of the rails that run from Belarus into Ukraine appear to have they've been falling apart, and maintenance is just, they're trying to pick up, but the tracks are just so poor, no trains will run on them. So somebody's stepping up to the plate. Even if it only gives them a day or two breathing room, they need it. Oh my gosh. I don't want to talk about recent events much because they are just horrific, but I'm just glad to see that there are those that are stepping up and doing what they can. Past that, I don't really want to talk about current events. I don't like talking about politics or religion or any of these things, mostly because they're just divisive. And while I do have opinions on them, they're just my opinions, and what do they matter? I'm only one person with no power to really affect the world, so I just largely try to stay away from them. I mean, you know that I am a leftist these days, and I actually hate capitalism with a capital H. So, I mean, there are my politics. Past that, I don't have any power in the world. What are my feelings and opinions going to change? You can get mad at me for, oh, you're a socialist, but who cares? What am I going to change in the world with the way I think? Nothing. I got no power, so what does it matter talking about that stuff? But it is divisive, so I try not to. I mean, as stated, I have beliefs and I have opinions on things, but until and unless they really jump up and need to be stated, I'll just occasionally mention things like, hey, being a leftist and all that. So that does push through into my fictional stuff. On the razor's edge and on the inside, of course, they are not the hyper-capitalist like we are. Especially not here in the United States, the hyper-capitalist end-stage capitalism that's going on and becoming more horrific daily. They experiment with a whole bunch of different things, and especially in the Crimson Kingdom, yes, there is actually a city currency, but they don't run on this strictly hyper-capitalistic form of that. That is also not just based on like gold or anything. There are infinite resources. So what do you base your currency on? Largely it's goodwill and such like that. They use a lot of bartering. There's a lot of just plain what we would look upon as straight socialism. We produce this thing and we give it to you. You produce that thing, you give it to us. We make sure that everybody's got food. Now let's work on what we're going to do for a business. So there's capitalism, but it's a very, very more minor thing because, after all, as I've mentioned on the inside, they are much more community-minded. And you have to be. It is an untamable, unending frontier. everywhere you live on the inside and on the razor's edge. You have to be community oriented. If you're not there for the community will not be there for you. And if the community is not there for you, you're not going to live very long. So they are much more community oriented on the inside, as well as especially on the razor's edge, being cantankerous and contrary, the descendants of thrill seekers and adrenaline junkies. They live on the razor's edge, not in spite of the craziness that happens there, but because of the craziness that happens there. Sure, most people, even on the razor's edge at its wildest, will only have one or two stories where a family member or close friend was like eaten in front of their eyes. But that's just one or two stories, and you're living like 70 years, and that's just a normal person. Yeah, you have to roll your dice to see how you're going to survive, but it's dangerous, but it's not a killing field. So people do survive, and they do things, and that's good. I keep thinking about this as well. I have not used this sort of thing in any of my fictional settings, but I decided that for playing this, and I have not yet been able to photocopy any of the stuff, so I haven't really been able to play it. You really need a lot of writing and such on character sheets. But I have decided that this setting for my character is on the razor's edge. It's 3,000 kilometers out from the razor's edge before the glamours break down, because that happens at about 7,000 kilometers out. So they're just out far away from the center. They're not really involved with much of anything that we would recognize. And so, yeah, they are the hunter-gatherers. But they've settled on hunter-gathering because that allows them to do the things they want, where they have great philosophers and mathematicians, and they have great sculptors and painters, because if you're hungry, it takes 5 minutes to feed yourself. Why have an industry when if you're hungry or thirsty, boom, boom, and then you're back to, you're done? Why create stuff unless you choose to? Why? Everything is given to you, and so they largely don't. They specialize in those who, yes, I've decided to learn how to do this with metal, and they learn how to smelt metal, and they make metal things. It's loud outside. But that's because they wish to do so, not because maybe there's people that want it, because why? But because they specialize, the sort of people they are, the character of mind that. And the reason I'm talking about this is not just to go on about a character. This is also a little bubble of stability I'm working on to blend into the full setting of the rest of the razor's edge. So there we go on that. But they also have those, like the main character that I'm running through the adventure, where their idea of just being able to indulge is adventure. They'll hire themselves out as guards. They'll hire themselves out as people to go and bust stuff up. If they survive that long enough, they become the people that go out and just make an adventure instead of being a guard for other people who are having adventures, knowing full well that they're not going to survive this lifestyle for long. But life isn't about just making it to the finish with no memories or no joy or no pleasure. It doesn't matter if the ending is up here if you didn't have fun along the way, and if you end here doing what you loved, that's fine. And so I'm working on these characters and this setting because, yes, I'm trying to fold it into the whole a day in the life with a year on the razor's edge. But we shall see, because already I have way too much material even for one, good golly Miss Molly, probably much more than I would need for a full series of 10 books plus. Not saying I'm a great writer, just saying there's a lot of material to be mined from this setting. Hokey smokes. So thumbs up on that. And hey, I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. Gonna go through and thank however many people have left me comments. There aren't many, Not anymore, but that's fine. Anything more than 0 is awesome. Thank you. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I got an American Sign Language, well, you've seen how my brain works and I'm unmedicated anymore. Confused Owl 29. Utak does not have a good side. In reference to human beings, so oh boy, every side is a bad side. And Jesse Koskinen, oh, I love this game, Rod. I wish I could find every single secret. It is so good. And good to see you in the comments. Thumbs up. Sweet Bone, thank you very, very much. Jordan Bedencourt, thumbs up and thank you very much. We have Campaign, greatly appreciated. Once again, they just keep doing so good on the game prod. It's awesome. Ben B, thumbs up and thank you very much. Good to see you. We have Honor, greatly appreciated and good to see you again as well. Scott 49140, Comrade Soviet Bear was good friend, Comrade Soviet Bear. And then we have ADHD. I was fine. I just bonked my headphones off when I did that sort of thing. We were all good. And then Joseph Proventure, I sure hope we're close. Greatly appreciated. 10 people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. Thumbs up and thank you. You get me out of my head and into the world, dealing with real people, and it is appreciated to know when. Thumbs up and thank you. With my hands in the air, of course, don't know what device you're watching this on. So don't know where the show more for the video is, but inside I have links to all of my various channels, as well as my Twitter, my Facebook, my Patreon. And again, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These literally beautiful, literally awesome people help to keep me and my pets alive while I still slowly sink beneath the waves of financial ruin. Unfortunately, the cost of living is vastly outpacing the ability of my disability and patrons to be able to keep me floating. I can't remember when I should have kept my hand up in the air or such, so hopefully I haven't taken it down far too early or far too late. But thank you, each and every one of these people. It is awesome and appreciated. And if you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, I do have links to a PayPal below, or wherever it happens to be. And if you'd like to help me out without sending any money, I do have an Amazon wishlist link with cat food on there. So if you could check that out, that'd be awesome. Don't feel obligated, I don't feel entitled, and if you cannot or you do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart, where I draw interest. So thank you. If you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. And of course, if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button, very cool. Thumbs up for that. Well, hokey smoky, hopefully I can get some phone calls that I need to get done. I did some running around yesterday and I was able to get some of the physical stuff that I needed to get done. So that's good. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. I did an early time walkies. So when I went walkies late at night, I didn't go for a full walkies because my legs were killing me. I'd gone for a walkies during daylight hours, then I took a shower, and then I went for walkies. Yeah, my legs were killing me. I couldn't do a full one. But still, hopefully you too will be able to get done the things you need to get done. And if you can't, well, life is life. Survival is important, and that's good. So, until we meet again, I can't remember anything. No, wait, it's of course, well, I usually talk about the Covfefe bug precautions, but either you are or you aren't. You know what they are, so please do the things that are smart, don't do the things that are dumb, and survive. Now, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing. That was a lot of input lag on my my arm movements there, wasn't it? Thumbs up for that.